Hello, Georgia friends. This is Georgianne, and I just wanted to check in with you. I'm having some trouble sleeping because it was such an exciting evening with Donald Trump coming to Georgia Tech campus, and I did attend, and I met some wonderful people, just wonderful people there.
Are you from Georgia, born and raised?
Yes, sir. I am.
The accent gave it away.
My name is Georgianne.
Is it really?
Yes.
So you're named after Georgia.
Georgianne Dogley.
Are you a registered voter?
Yes.
Have you voted early?
Yes, I did.
And did you vote for Trump?
No, I did not.
Somehow I should have expected that answer, but it still caught me off guard.
Who'd you vote for?
I voted for Kamala.
I was so happy by her answer, I did a lap.
Are you about to go on this Trump rally?
Yes, sir.
And what are you going to do in there?
I want to see what he says. Some people say he's cognitively not okay anymore.
Okay.
I want to see for myself.
Firsthand.
I heard at one rally, he just swayed to Ave
For
Maria.
39 minutes.
I know it. What's he going to do here? Sway to Georgia on my mind? I don't know.
Georgianne on my mind.
And then I asked her, Georgianne, why didn't you vote for Donald Trump this election?
Listen to what people are saying and believe them when they say they're going to destroy the country. Trump might just do it for Putin, because I kind of got an idea he might be prostituting for Putin. If
Prostituting for Putin.
Put that on merch now. And then she dropped this gem.
I do care about Lady Liberty. Let's not defile her. And nobody's grabbing me by the crotch. I can tell you that too. You know.
Georgianne, you're the best.
Thank you.
I am a Georgianne fan.
And I loved hearing some of the things and some of the people who were speaking. I was concerned in some ways. I heard Marjorie Taylor Greene, and I heard Kelly Loeffler, and I think it was Burt Jones, and a few other people I didn't recognize. And then, of course, Donald Trump came and he spoke. He was a little late, and, you know, his staff told me that he's going to be late, that he's always late, which that seemed very unfortunate because there were many things that were not well organized. For example, they said that they would have food and drinks for sale, and he was going to start speaking at 6. And so maybe many people thought that they could eat something. But anyway, they shut down the concession stands very early. And well, maybe that's just as well, but there was a long line and a lot of people did not get their food. And the hot dogs were $6. It wasn't, and bottled water, just regular bottled water, the signing was like $5. But I know we should expect that. And they didn't want to let people bring outside food. I understand we need to be very careful with security. But anyway, I was a little disturbed in some ways because I was hoping to hear something happy and hopeful, and I didn't hear it. And there weren't that many people at the pavilion. There were a lot, probably a lot of Georgia Tech students. It was free. It was free for everybody. And I guess especially for Georgia Tech students because it was on their Tech campus. And boy, every time they mentioned Georgia Tech, they got a big old applause, you know. And that was good. That was real good. But Donald just said so many negative things about America over and over again. So many that I don't think are true. And then he avoided talking about many things that are true, and we know they're true. I mean, this explosion this happened by the bio lab, and is it Conyers? And you know, the toxic things that are happening in our environment, the hurricanes. And he's saying, oh, I'm helping out the hurricane victims. If I was a billionaire, I wouldn't start a GoFundMe. I wouldn't ask poor people to pay for devastated people. If I were a billionaire, I'd just give some money, you know. And he's got a bad reputation of like cheating the children's charities, the children with cancer, and cheating the veterans. And then he's saying, oh, y'all better be careful. We're going to have a draft. And, you know, and then he made disparaging remarks about our military. This is a man who got out of service saying he had a bone spur. I don't understand someone who was born with millions of dollars and had everything given to him, and he's wasted so much, and he's so destructive about the good things that we have. And I'm tired, to be honest. I am tired. And he seems tired. He's talking about immigrants, like as if 32,000 immigrants are killing people in America, and Kamala let them in. And come on, I mean, everybody knew he's lying, and many people were leaving halfway into. I mean, all of the upper seats, they were empty from the very get-go. Nobody sat up there. But then the lower seats, many of them were already not totally filled up, even though it was free and convenient to get to. But they weren't filled up. But people were leaving. And it's just tiring to hear it. And I think maybe he's tired too. Because, maybe he doesn't really want to do this. But he could be pressured to do it. And you think, well, why? Who could pressure Donald Trump to do it? And I think it's Putin. I really do, because, he was trying to do business with Putin. He was trying to get some money from Putin, like have a Trump hotel in Moscow and get some money from him and fund these different things, because he'd gone bankrupt with that Trump Taj Mahal. I saw it before he got elected the first time. I went up to Atlantic City, and it was already closed down. It was about to get imploded. And it was sad, because you could see the whole community had invested in this big, elaborate thing, and it was about to just get destroyed. And, that's just like a big sinkhole for the whole community. And the only people working there were the security guards trying to keep people off the property. I mean, it was closed. A big old luxury hotel casino, the Trump Taj Mahal. And I thought, oh, my God, please. If he's elected president, don't let him do this to America. And I know I don't want to sound so disturbed by it, but, when Trump is saying Ukraine should just make peace with Russia, that's kind of like saying, well, you already got raped and assaulted. Why don't you just give up your house and give up your daughters and your sons and your future too? Well, what's he going to do with America? Because he's already trying to let the Russians take us. And he's got Elon Musk helping him out. Well, Elon Musk is dealing with Putin already. He's already working for Putin. And you know what? He's trying to influence the U.S. elections. And the Twitter X thing, some of the biggest investors, I don't think that Elon really meant to buy it. He just wanted to act like he was going to buy it. But then he had to buy it because he said he was going to buy it. And then he didn't have the money to buy it. I mean, and the thing is, I don't think it's just like the regular kind of debt in America where you can say, well, I'm bankrupt. I can't do anything, like Giuliani's doing now. He's like, I'm bankrupt. I don't have anything else. You can't take it from me. Because the Russians, I mean, look what Putin did to, what's his name that was opposing him, Navalny, I can't remember, the very good man who was poisoned to death. I mean, look what the Russians are doing to the Ukrainians. And, all those Russian soldiers were trying to leave. The men who didn't want to be soldiers, they were trying to leave Russia. And I don't blame them. They don't want to kill their neighbors. And the difference between America and Russia and Ukraine and Russia is that Ukrainians knew they were getting attacked. Ukrainians knew they were getting invaded. Americans don't know it. They still don't know it. Many Americans don't know that Trump is being influenced at the least by Putin, if not controlled. I mean, yes, he is prostituting for Putin. I mean, I'm sorry. You might not want to believe it, but here he stole all of these classified documents. He takes them down to Mar-a-Lago, where anybody, including that homeless man who with a gun sitting there for hours and hours, could just hang out. Well, if you think a homeless man or a crazy man can get into Mar-a-Lago, don't you know that Russians can too, especially Russian spies? And I mean, he was just letting them into the White House. He was like, Russia, if you're listening, if you can find Hillary's emails, that was the first one. And all those Russian bots influencing our election. It's ugly. It's ugly. And so what would he do? And I think on January 6th, when our country was being attacked, by a mob of people who really thought they were doing the right thing because Trump had told them this. And they're like going and attacking the Capitol and throwing their feces on the walls and doing stupid things. And then they had to pay for it later. Now, Trump didn't pay for it. They had to pay for it. You know, but what I mean is that Trump's just sitting there. No one knows what he's doing. I think he's on the phone with Putin saying, what next? What do I have to do next, Putin? Vladimir, you just tell me, because I love you, and I'm indebted to you, and I don't want you to kill me. I mean, look at what happened to, what's that man's name? The one, the sex party guy, the one that Trump hung out with and supposedly had sex with all those poor girls who thought they were going to be hostesses. Instead, they got raped. And, you know, he brags about it. He says, I'm going to grab him by the pussy. I can do that because I'm a celebrity. Listen, I'm just wondering, what's wrong with the men who have daughters and wives and they think that's okay? Well, why don't you just throw your daughter in and let them be raped and assaulted? Is that what's wrong with you? I mean, Trump always talks about the immigrants. And they say they're accused. They're never convicted. He just talked about people accused. If we just talk about people who are accused of stuff, Trump would have been in jail and stuck in there a long time ago, and he would have been beaten up by the other inmates because nobody likes the kind of stuff he's been accused of doing. And you know what? He just keeps telling lies and lies and lies. And I wanted to hear it in person to see if maybe there was something better than I was hearing. And I knew wasn't true. But the sad thing is, it was worse. It was worse in person. And all the people were there supporting him, but they weren't happy to support him. They were just angry and sad. And I understand they're angry and sad because they aren't going all that well in America for everybody. It's going a lot better here than it's going in Russia. Going a lot better here than it's going in Mexico or Guatemala or Chile or China. You know, America is already great. We're not perfect, but we're good. And we can be better. And that's what we're supposed to be doing, is working to be better. Not worse. And when Trump's talking about putting tariffs on stuff, that's just going to drive the prices up like sky high. When he talks about, rounding up all the illegal immigrants, well, one, you're not going to figure out who's legal and illegal anyway. And you know what? If you take away all the illegal immigrants, that's when the price of groceries goes up. And when the price of groceries goes up 3 times what it is right now, because we don't have cheap labor. And believe me, I don't know many friends of mine who would go work like crazy on those farms that are hot. It's terrible, some of the jobs that the immigrants are doing. Have you ever been inside a chicken processing plant? Honey, you don't want to be handling those pieces. I don't mean to say it that way, but it is unfortunately difficult. But the immigrants are willing to do it. And they're paying into Social Security without collecting. Actually, they're funding us to some degree because they get these false IDs and they just want to send their money home to their family. Most of the time, they're living in, difficult conditions. They can accept it because they want to survive. And I'm not saying don't close the border. Of course, keep the border closed. Of course do that. Of course, find a better way. And Congress had a better way, and Trump talked all these stupid Republicans into not voting for it because he wanted to run on something, and that's the only thing he could figure out is like, I'm going to scare everybody with stories about awful immigrants that aren't even true. It's sad when somebody is trying to destroy the country with lies. And so many people don't realize they're just being played for fools. I don't mean to say it that way, but Putin is very clever. And he's got a lot of control right now of Donald Trump. And I'm afraid if Donald Trump is able to fool this many people into scaring them into what'll happen if Kamala gets elected is not going to be any worse than it is right now. You know? And to be honest, right now, it's not that bad. I don't know many people starving to death. And I know enough people who are kind enough to feed them if they do. And you know what? We still got freedom of speech. We still got freedom to go from one end of the country to the other if we want to. And we don't have to report to anybody. Listen, if you don't think you got it good right now, go to any other country you want to. Well, there's some in Europe that might be better. And I don't know about Australia. I haven't been there lately. But anyway, America's already great. And I'm so grateful to be here. And I just wanted to say, I'm saying a prayer for our nation. I'm saying a prayer for everybody I met tonight. Wonderful, wonderful people at the Trump rally. I don't think they were all Trumpers, but they were all Americans, and I love them. And I hope we learn to love each other more often. I don't mean that in a romantic way. I mean that in a big old agape way. I don't know how to say that right correctly, but you know what I mean. And we need to lead the world and save the world in a good way and not fight everybody. We don't need to fight. He's saying fight, fight, fight. We don't need to fight. We need to love. And I'm going to keep doing it. I love you, Georgianne. Y'all sleep well. I'm going to try to go to sleep right now. Oh, by the way, look. Everybody was holding up these signs at the rally, 47, and I thought it's kind of funny. Someone gave me a red one, and then somebody traded me their blue one for the red one, and I like it because it's blue, and it says 47, 2024. And it's got some stars on it. You can take that to mean anything you want to. And I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to 2025. Love y'all. Sleep well. And have a good day if you're already waking up. Georgianne.